shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club, dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like
What's going on, fight fans? It's another great day when you love MMA. Welcome back to Mad Matty Fight Talk. Your host here, Mad Matty. June 18th, we got a big one, UFC Fight Night. It's going down in Austin, Texas at the Moody Center. We got the main event with super high-ranked, super talented knockout artists in the featherweight division. Number 4, Calvin Kattar will be taking on number 7, Josh Emmett. Now, this fight card is extremely stacked. Some of these fight nights, as fight fans, we know, it's some bullshit. But this fight card, I'm actually really hype about. You got Tim Means taking on Kevin Holland. That's going to be a good fight. The co-main event's going to be a battle between the OGs, Donald Cerrone and Joe Lozon. Striker versus grappler. Really excited to see what happens. That fight was set for I believe the last fight card, but he got scrapped because Donald Cerrone got food poisoning or something crazy like that. So I'm hyped that this guy's getting back into it. And then the main event, high-ranking, super elite athletes in the featherweight division. Now, that division is extremely stacked. You got Alexander Volkanovski, who's taking on Max Holloway. Both of these guys are considered to be the GOATs in that division. That fight's set. The championship, it's already on the line. Then you got Yair Rodriguez taking on Brian Ortega. Another big high-ranking fight, and which leads me to this fight, Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett. So, to me, what I believe is going to happen is if Brian Ortega wins, he's going to probably face the winner of this fight. If Yair Rodriguez wins, he potentially will get a title shot. I know he's coming off a loss to Max Holloway, but, he's the only guy who hasn't faced Alexander Volkanovski out of most of the people in the top 5, 6. So he would probably get more of a head nod to go for the title. But I do believe if Brian Ortega wins, he'll be taking on the winner of this fight. Now let's break this fight down a little bit for you guys who are betting on this. For those of you who just want to know, the statistics of who potentially could win this fight. Calvin Kattar, number 4, 23-5. The dude has 11 KOs, 2 submissions, extremely solid record, outstanding boxing technique, and the dude has clean hands. 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Remember the reach for a second. Now we're going into number 7, Josh Emmett. 17-2, outstanding record as a pro. 6 KOs, 2 submissions. The dude's 5'6", but has a 70-inch reach. So Kattar will have the 2-inch reach advantage. Not too much, leaning towards him in that department. As the great Chael Sonnen would say, reach doesn't mean shit, but I believe it does play a factor. If you're talking about two guys who are really, really good at striking, that reach advantage, if your timing and your accuracy is on point, it plays a little bit. So Calvin Kattar's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. He's coming off of a big win over Giga Chikadze that happened on January 15th, 2022, where he won a 5-round decision. Now, for those of you who are very familiar with Giga Chikadze, they were pushing for that guy to get a title shot early when Max had to pull out. Instead of the Korean Zombie, they wanted Giga to get in there. Just interesting because Calvin Kattar ended up taking on Giga Chikadze and handling that dude. Made him look like he did not belong in the top 10. Absolutely put a beating on that guy and Giga's been dominating people in that division. Very impressive performance for Calvin Kattar to come back after getting his ass beat by Max Holloway. I mean, Max has great boxing, and, it was a battle of 2 great boxers. Max just leveled up in that fight. So, no knock on Calvin Kattar there, but it was a great comeback victory for him. Now, Josh Emmett, on the other hand, he's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Recently beat Dan Ige back in December of 21, 3-round decision. Him and Dan Ige, they had a really good fight, very back and forth. I mean, Josh Emmett did a little bit more damage, and he was more on point in that fight, I would say. So these guys, it's very interesting. Significant strikes. Calvin Kattar lands about 5.19 per minute, whereas Josh Emmett lands about 4.2. Not too far off from each other on that. I'd say that Calvin Kattar's landing 41% of his significant strikes, where Josh Emmett's landing 39%. Absorbed per minute is a little bit different here. Calvin, I think the numbers went up when he fought Max Holloway. He's at 7.64 per minute, where Josh Emmett's at 4.1. So he doesn't take as much damage as Calvin Kattar. But, I think a lot of that came from that Max Holloway fight. Defensively, though, he has a 52% striking defense, whereas Josh Emmett has a 62%, so a little bit higher there. Now, the difference in the striking department for these fellas, I'd have to say that Calvin Kattar has probably more clean boxing, crisper hands, where Josh Emmett has more power. I mean, the dude is a freaking knockout machine. When he lands his haymakers on people, they go to sleep. Calvin Kattar, he puts it on you. I mean, he obviously has knockout ability as well, but I think he lands clean shots. His accuracy is extremely well, and he has very good technique. Josh, I'm not saying he doesn't have good technique, but he's more of a power, he needs to land the big bomb and it'll be over type of guy. Moving down to the grappling department, what we saw against Giga Chikadze from Calvin Kattar is that he implemented some wrestling into that, which really threw Giga Chikadze off his game. I think he was expecting a stand-up fight against Kattar, and then Kattar started, shooting in for takedowns, feigning for takedowns, which set up his striking. Giga had no answer for any of that and just got dismantled in that fight. So I like that wrinkle in Calvin Kattar's game. I think that's going to help him out for these next upcoming fights. It helped him as he evolved. You can see the evolution of him mixing it up and getting better at what he's already doing. Josh Emmett lands about, 1.25 per 15 minutes. So, I mean, these guys, they're not going to really shoot in. They're probably going to stand and bang. The interesting thing is Calvin Kattar has an 89% takedown defense, whereas Josh Emmett has a 58%. I don't think a lot of guys are going to shoot in against Josh because he actually is pretty good at grappling. They're about equal when it comes to submission. So, to be honest with you guys, I really don't think that this is going to turn into a grappling fight. I think Josh Emmett, if he's smart, he would try and take this fight to the ground. Because although Calvin Kattar has a really good takedown defense, I haven't seen him off his back too much. And I don't know if he could handle the ground and pound of Josh Emmett. Whereas Kattar, on the other hand, if he gets the fight to the ground, he's not really looking to keep it there. I think he's doing that to mix his striking up. So he's not just a one-dimensional fighter. It's going to come down to speed and accuracy versus power. That's me personally. That's what I believe this fight is going to be. It's going to be a barn burner. That's for goddamn sure. I definitely don't think it's going to go for 5 rounds. I mean, if I had to put my money on it, I'm going to take Calvin Kattar in this fight. I think that Calvin Kattar has showed a little bit more evolution in his game. Obviously, Josh Emmett has power, and he definitely could put the lights out with one shot. But I think Kattar's going to land early. He's going to land often, and he's going to mix it up well. I think he's going to be able to mix in takedowns to get Emmett thinking, okay, this guy's, he's not just trying to strike with me, and that's where Kattar's going to dominate the fight with the hands. I think he's just more accurate. He's a lot faster, and he's going to be able to land his shots cleaner. I think he's just going to land more and more often, and he's going to do more damage in this fight. I see it being potentially, if it's not a 5-round decision for Kattar, it's going to be a 4th-round TKO. I'm just terrible just picking one thing, but I do believe it could potentially become a 4th-round TKO because Kattar, he's no slouch, man. I mean, a lot of people dusted him off when he got his ass beat by Max Holloway, but I'm telling you, man, that guy is a fucking nasty striker. He has really, really good boxing, and I think he's going to land a lot on Josh Emmett. I almost called this motherfucker Emmett Smith. He's going to land a lot on Josh Emmett. I don't think Emmett is going to be able to land clean bombs on a guy who has great boxing like Calvin Kattar. I think that if Emmett obviously touches his chin, he could put him out, and I don't think he's going to, though. I think he's going to be trying to look for the one sweet Mary goodnight punch, and it's just not going to come, dude. I don't think he's going to get it done. And obviously, if he goes to take Kattar down, his takedown defense is outstanding. So, yeah, if you guys had to put your money on this fight, man, I would definitely go with Calvin Kattar beating Josh Emmett by a 4th-round TKO. I think he's going to hurt. I think the first round might be pretty equal. The second round is where Kattar's probably going to start switching it up, using his kicks, using his takedowns, and I think he's going to start picking Emmett apart. That's just what I think. I mean, hit me in the comments. Let me know what you guys think as well. Now, real quick, I do believe Joe Lauzon's going to beat Donald Cerrone. Cerrone hasn't really had a good ending half of his career, and I think Lauzon with his grappling is just too elite. But anyway, like always, guys, hit me with the like, hit me with the subscribe if you like this content. Hit me in the comments. Let's argue. Let me know who you guys got winning. Let me know what you guys think about my picks, man, and I will see you guys on the next video.
Haters talking shit, yeah, they breath stank. Walk up in the club dripping like I'm fresh paint. I can see through the facade like